It doesn't have weakness against any type. When the enemies are actually in the bio form, you can hit them and their HP is going to go down. However, it is going to go down until it reaches. Alright, my captains, so today we have some major news that we are going to go through. The first one is the new chapter and what we have in it. We have a very old friend that came back and we are going to talk about her, and we also have a new type of enemy that we are going to talk about as well, and let me know your opinion about them in the comments section below. Now before we start, don't forget to subscribe my channel if you haven't already to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Impact 3rd, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and share the video with your friends. And without any further ado, let's just get started. So the first thing is our friend that came back after all this time, and that is none other than Griseo. Yes, Griseo herself is actually back, and this time in the main story with the main characters, and as you can see, she is the real actually Griseo. She is the one that went with Project Arc, and basically they lost all information about her and nobody knew what happened with Project Arc after that. So finally they found her, or at least Fuhua found her in the Sea of Quanta, and we will see what different stuff that there are actually about her and about her story, because now we might go through her story as well, because her story is going to be pretty interesting. What happened to Project Arc? Why did it just disappear like that? Why did they lose all communication with her? What did she do to end up in this Sea of Quanta? And other stuff that happened with her. So it will be pretty interesting to see what they are going to do with that. But finally she is back, and she is her. It's not a simulation of her, she is actually the real Griseo. Now in terms of personality, from this picture at least, it seems like she didn't change a lot. She is still a little bit sleepy, and it seems like she is still that shy little girl, and it is understandable because she is still a little girl, so maybe she is still she still has the same personality, but we will see once we get maybe some cutscenes about her, or maybe some talk about her. We will see how she is right now. As you can see, Fuhua is more than happy that she is finally reunited with one of the flame chasers after all this time, who isn't Kevin. Kevin is the only one who she actually reunited with. So finally she found someone else, and it's Griseo, and Griseo is just amazing. So we will see what will happen between them. I wonder if she ended up there actually because of Saw, or if there was something else that made her end up in that specific area of the Sea of Quanta. That would be pretty interesting to see as well. Is it Saw that made her actually end up there and maybe stopped her from performing Project Arc, or from trying to beat the Honkai? Maybe he wanted actually to consume as much, or she wanted to consume as much energy from the Sea of Quanta as possible, and Project Arc was working against her maybe, and that's why she made her go into deep sleep, and she cut all communication with her. That could be some type of story that they could go with, but we will see what will happen. But I am really interested in seeing Griseo in the Sea of Quanta, not in the real world. So we will see what will happen there. Anyways, let's see what they are saying here about the main story. At the end of the previous chapter, Fuhua finds her former comrade in arms, Grace. It's Griseo, okay? A girl who left. Don't mind this, it's just Google being Google. A girl who left Earth to carry out the Ark plan. Why is she here? What did she go through with the Ark? Yes, finally they are going to go through what will happen with what happened with the Ark project. That's actually very awesome. What kind of conspiracy, oh my god, is hidden behind all these visions? Just ask the captain to continue to pay attention to the story of the main story, chapter 41. I really like the fact that they are going and follow in the footsteps of Griseo and Fuhua to the truth. Okay, I really like the fact that they are saying that they will go through what happened with Project Arc, and they will actually go through some other information as well about both of them. So that's really awesome. That is very, very good. I can't wait to see what will happen actually during this chapter and the chapter after it as well. Because if this chapter is in the... I think that we still have actually about 5 chapters before the part 2 of the story starts, because they said that part 2 of the story is going to start in 2024. They didn't even actually say at which month it will start, so maybe even more than 5 or 6 chapters we still have actually before the end of part 2. So they will most likely end both the story of Saw and the story of Project Arc during actually the part 1.5, and then after they finish these two they are going to go to part 2. So we will see what they are going to do. Anyways, we have also a new type of enemy that I wanted to talk about, and that is basically this type of enemy. It's called the Stardust Attribute, and just like how they introduced the Quantum at the beginning, where it was actually beating itself like this is actually very similar. So they introduced the Stardust first, and usually when they introduce a new attribute, if there wasn't an attribute that is alone before, like basically the Quantum, what they did with it, it is going to be strong against itself. So right now, what is strong against the basically the Stardust attribute is basically itself. And then when it comes to the Quantum as well, it is the exact same. The Quantum is strong against itself because of the fact that it was introduced alone, and then the same happened with Imaginary as well. You would think that Imaginary and Quantum would have basically the strength against each other, but instead they have the weakness against each other. However, the thing is, since Stardust doesn't have actually any other attribute to fight against, it doesn't have weakness against any type. So once they actually introduced a Valkyrie that has this attribute, which they are going to definitely do, it is going to be normal or neutral against all of the other attributes. It isn't going to have any disadvantage against any of the attributes, and that is actually a major plus for this type of Valkyries. However, that is going to last until a certain period of time, and then they are going to basically handle it most likely like what they did with the Quantum, where they introduced the Imaginary. So most likely the Stardust as well is going to have some type of attribute that is weak against, and that it is weak against. So we will see what they are going to do here, but as you can see, this is the type of enemy. It has two different states. It has the bioform. I think this is the bioform state, and this is the solid state. And basically there are different stuff that you have to take care of when you are facing them in these two different forms. They are basically talking about it here. If you want, you can pause the video and read it for yourself. I am not going to go through all of it because I already read it. I am going to just let you know about some of the information that you need to know about. As you can see, when the enemies are actually in the bioform, you can hit them and their HP is going to go down. However, it is going to go down until it reaches a certain period, which is basically the critical index. As you can see, there are two critical indexes here. This is the first one, this is the second one. Each one of them is going to have at least one critical index, at least one. And basically once they hit the critical index, you are going to hit them to reduce their maximum HP. Not their HP, but their maximum HP. And by that you are going to take it under the critical index, and once you get it under the critical index, you are going to be able to get rid of that one, and then they will restore their HP to the maximum HP they have at that point. So if you made it reach like this here. They are going to restore it until here, and then you are going to basically fight them again and try to get them to the next critical index, and once you get them there, you are going to try to kill them. So that's basically how you are going to fight these ones. It is pretty interesting type of fight. It is going to be a little bit of time consuming fight, but once we maybe get some Valkyries who are actually strong against them, they might also have some type of a way around these indexes as well. Just like how the Quantum Valkyries basically destroy the Quantum cores and make the opponents actually, I don't know if it is called cores, but whatever, you understand what I mean, make them basically easier to kill. Maybe the Valkyries that has the Stardust basically attribute would make these fights easier as well. So we will see what they are going to do, but this is pretty much how you are going to fight them. You are going to hit them until they reach the critical point. Once they reach it, you are going to basically reduce their maximum HP below that critical point, and then you are going to go to the next critical point and then finish it. And as I said before, each enemy of this type is going to have at least one critical point, but there might be some other enemies that has even more than 2 critical points. So maybe some type of a boss is going to have maybe 4 or 5 different critical points, which is going to be crazy. So we will see what they are going to do with that, but it's a pretty interesting concept, and it is going to put different fresh air for the gameplay, so that is really awesome. I really like the idea. Anyways, this is pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. Let me know your opinion about it in the comments section below, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so that they can enjoy it too. And if you got any useful information from this video, or if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe my channel and turn on the notification bell beside it to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Impact 3rd. And with that being said, see you as always in the next video of Honkai Impact.